someone just admitted to something, and I got the paperwork to prove it because the trial already saw it. Alright, let's talk a little bit about what was just said. Someone said that if you dated a girl under the age of 18, that you get in trouble. Technically, when they look at molestation, they don't include her within that the word rape. It's molestation when it is forced. So their right there answers a lot of questions. Wow. And then they turn around and say they don't know the answer. Alright, so we've all been 18 at one time, correct? Okay, so do not date, as the law keeps reading, anyone 18 years under your age. So they're also asking the other question. So you're 32 years old, which is not 18 years under that age. But if you look at the age bracket of where it says in every country, even this one, that a person is 13 years of age, becomes that of 14 years of age, you're a legal adult. I can prove it to you. If a person can handle a rifle and go hunting at the age of 13, the other part of it is, and it states that when you become that of which can possess or hold, which I like to say, a weapon, that has to be considered for you to go hunting the age of a person being an adult. To me, it's a little bit more different. I like to add that 1 year. So when you're 14, you are of, if you've gone hunting, legal age to be an adult. As many laws, and I'm not going to get into this because of all these people sitting around making crap up in their minds, but when it says you become that of not puberty, but that of such who exploits that of which is capable of producing or having, not necessarily producing, I'll raise producing, can have children, that when you have, or can technically have and make children, and that's at for most, is the age of 13. Because overseas they'll ask you, when you not fondle, you mess around with yourself, and can you not make sperm, but I'm going to say, can you put sperm in a cup, right? So, which is not necessarily named sperm either. That's another thing that the U.S. is kind of funny about. But when you do that without actually using it on a girl, okay, can you produce that? If you can, then you're legal age and to be an adult. The other thing of it is, going back to real law, is you can actually, in one way, keep yourself away from girls. So one, you don't ever have a child support payment, but that's not even legal. But if you don't want to be an ignorant person and get a girl pregnant and have a child that you may or may not ever take care of, you just stay to yourself. When I say stay to yourself, you're always staying to yourself. The interesting part of it is to die a virgin isn't a sin, as religion likes to say. A cult likes to say a person that needs to be banished from the world. And I'll tell you why they'd say that, because when you are a quote unquote, and I'm going to reference the word virgin this way, more powerful than they are, they won't mess with you. weaning at a young age or messing with a child at a young age, exploiting a person in the sense of not really exploiting, but out of bodying a child into another child was a huge problem from 1740 to the present day. Not hard to do. Because when that happens, then they say, well, hold on a second, how can you do that to a child if you can do it to a person at death to not necessarily lessen their height, but to reestablish them to the world, then you can do that in some senses to a child. So the next thing they'll say is, well, if you send a bunch of adopted kids over that got adopted by USA or the US or Canada or South America, why would you exploit them? And I'm taking that you're saying this to the person at that point in time. And when I say that, I can hear this to when you're either physically saying or you're allowing it to go to this particular person. It's not technically exploiting if y'all say that you are good people, reliable and good civilians, citizens, and so forth. Because technically, if a person doesn't want a child and you have another person who will not shelter, but not house a child, but take care of a child like they're supposed to by the rules and regulations, as well as all this other stuff they said it's not in books that is, then how can you sit there and say you're a good person? So if you ran your mouth and said, oh, Frank Johnson is a good person, and Frank ain't no good person, and it's shown, well, that also falls back on the people that they call references. Others will say they spoke up. Others will say they didn't. Here's the other funny part. And I'll say Chinatown for this one for a reference of an example. You could probably go and hurt a lot of people, and don't go to China and bomb them and say China did it. That's not what that country is called. That's kind of one of the reasons they're pissed off. They don't want Koreans, Vietnamese. Understand? Good. Have a good day.